The hybrid market has been exploding along with the EV market. Both are very hard to get your hands on, but if you do manage to get your hands on one of them, it is going to save you money. Today, we're taking a look at a 2023 Kia Sportage plug-in hybrid electric. So this is the EX Premium trim. It's basically the plug-in hybrid electric trim that is the base model of the plug-in hybrid electric. And it looks pretty much identical to the Sportage you may have seen on the channel before. The only difference is this has a hybrid system in it. It has a standard all-wheel drive, and that's super nice because it handles really well in the winter. As you can see, it's been snowing, so we need that. Let's take a look under the hood. The engine is Kia's Gamma 2 Turbo plug-in hybrid electric 4-cylinder engine. That engine produces 177 horsepower on its own and 195 pound-feet of torque. So the battery on its own makes 89.7 horsepower and 224 pound-feet of torque. Engine and battery combine for a total of 261 horsepower, 258 pound-feet of torque. This is pretty good. I mean, I don't know what you're expecting for a plug-in hybrid electric, but from what I'm expecting, it's very nice. Now, I mentioned there's a hybrid system, which includes a battery in this one. That is good for about a max of 55 kilometers, and we've been getting about that, even knowing it's absolutely freezing here. So let's talk about charging times because this is a plug-in vehicle. The charging times at level 1, so your normal house outlet that you'll find everywhere in your house, 120 volts will charge in 11 hours and 10 minutes from 15% all the way up to 100. Level 2, 240 volts, it's going to do charge up to 100% in 2 hours. And level 3 is not supported, but honestly, I don't find myself needing it. I've been using the normal 120 volt all week and I've had no problem. So with all that being said, let's take a tour of the exterior and then we'll move on to the interior, and then of course we'll take it for a drive. Let's see what the Sportage has got. So as usual, taking a look at the front end of the Sportage, I really like these daytime running LED lights. It's got a nice design where you'll see in the side profile, it does kind of bleed over into the side profile, these headlights do. Nice fog lights, a little bit of piano black, might get fingerprinty, but you know, it's the front of the car. You're not really gonna care. Really aggressive looking sporty front end, and that does check out since it's called the Sportage, so there you go. Nice new Kia logo that we like, a little bit of chrome, but it does look really, really nice in this gray color. I think it's my favorite color of the trim. So taking a look at the side profile of the Kia Sportage, you can see that the headlights do kind of bleed over into the side profiles, and you have these nice turn signal mirrors here that you can see when it turns, and also you have these one-touch lock and unlock buttons, but they will get frozen, and they have froze already this winter, so just keep that in mind. Nice 19-inch wheels there with like the plastic hubcaps, but you know, Kia's gonna be cheap, so that's expected, but it does look nice, so I don't mind at all. And they've held on well in the winter, these tires, so you'll see that in the driving segment. A little bit of chrome on the bottom there, which I don't mind. And then your charge port is right back here. You pop that open, you plug in. It's got like a little cover here. I don't know if the camera's gonna pick that up, but it does have that little cover and a green light to indicate whether or not it's charged fully or it needs to be charged. It'll turn orange, this light. So that'll do it for the side profile. Let's take a look at the rest. So taking a look at the back of the Kia Sportage, you have a nice wiper that's up here that's hidden behind the light bar, which is super nice in the winter. As you can see, it's snowing. It's not going to get piled down by snow, and you'll be able to move it always, all the time. Nice Sportage badging, nice PHEV badging, nice Kia logo too. Nice bottom too. I like the kind of aggressive look. Again, Sportage, it checks out once more. The tail lights are really nice. They kind of look like they're from Tesla, just a little bit. They kind of copy it. You know, you're probably gonna give me crap for that, but that's what it looks like. So there's my opinion on that. Let's take a look at the trunk space. As you can see here, it opens automatically. Mercedes, we're looking at you. Spoiler alert, I have a Mercedes next week, and I doubt it's gonna do that because 70K isn't enough for an automatic opening trunk. Anyways, I'll never let them live that down. Okay, so let's look at the interior of the trunk. The seats fold down. Very nice. You have a lot of space. This Kia is super roomy. You'll see that when we take a look at the interior. It's very, very roomy and absolutely perfect for what you need if you're hauling stuff around. This is going to be so good for you. And that's it. That's all. All right, so moving on to the interior of the Kia Sportage. It's very nice. I mean, I can't call it boring, but we'll call it not so usable because a lot of people have complained about our digital climate control here. That's like, you know, it's not a haptic feedback, but it's also not like good per se. Like I'd prefer physical buttons. I think almost everybody that's reviewed this car has also said they prefer physical buttons. I'm right there with them. There's a lot of piano black here, especially where there's the center gauge console here. It's like the gear selector is cool and it's massive, but there's a lot of piano black and it's a high touch area, so it's going to get fingerprinty. It already is scratched up. I don't do that. I take care of my press cars, for the record. But this one is already scratched up. This is already fingerprinty. And there's nothing we can do about it. But besides all that stuff, besides all the not so great stuff, it does have heated seats, it does have ventilated seats, it is a heated steering wheel, and you know we love that. It is very comfortable to sit in. It's a very nice place to spend time. You've got like 5 vents, and the vents kind of match the headlights a little bit. I don't know if you've noticed that when you looked at the Kia Sportage on the exterior, but it does. Massive infotainment display that's the standard Kia Hyundai infotainment display that you're used to and that you like, and it's good. There's no problem with that at all. The only difference with this one is they added a PHEV button, which you can press and see where your power is going, how much power you have left, your charge times, all that stuff. And you also have a split screen feature that will allow you to kind of have a different piece of information on the side of the main piece of information, which is very nice. Dual zone automatic climate control. You know, Kia has really done a lot and given us a lot of features for less, and especially with possibly government incentives in your area, this car becomes very attractive to maybe a market that otherwise wouldn't be able to get into it. So that's really cool. You have a wireless charger, plenty of space as well. There's really not a lot to complain about. You also have 2 memory seats, and then you have your traction control off and on buttons on the left-hand side here too. The driver's screen is a little bit boring. It reminds me of the Kia Soul a lot. It's actually almost the same screen, other than the fact that you can see where your power is going and you can change a bunch of stuff here. So the rear, taking a look, it's cold. I don't really want to sit in the back seat. I'm warm right here. But the good news is, if I was to sit in the back seat and do a shot back there, it's very roomy. You got lots of headroom, lots and lots of leg room. It's got heated seats back there, 2 levels of heated seating back there, which is nice. A little bit of piano black on the doors, and again, if you have kids, it's gonna get fingerprinty. I'd rather see a matte black there, but if that's the only thing I'm complaining about, then that's not a very big complaint at all. You also have these kind of strange things in the back of the headrest. I don't know if it's an iPad holder or a phone holder or something, but I'm sure you'll let me know in the comments. I think it's for iPads. And, you know, again, it just goes to back to the fact that this is a family hauler that's going to save you money in the long run. It's just nice. And I love the fact that there's a lot of room in that back seat of this SUV. So super nice to have there. And that's going to do it for the interior tour. Let's go ahead, let me put that camera up, and let's take it for a test drive. All right, so here we are in the 2023 Kia Sportage plug-in hybrid electric. I feel like I've been saying that this whole video, but I have to emphasize that because there is another Sportage that doesn't have a hybrid system and looks almost exactly the same. So like you heard me say in the beginning, that Niall actually did review the normal Sportage, and I think his biggest complaint about the whole normal Sportage, the whole non-hybrid Sportage, was that it really was heavy on fuel. Well, in this Sportage, it is not at all the case, which is really good news. So you get everything that you like about the Sportage in a package that's going to save you money, and that is probably one of the greatest strengths of the car this time, and not one of its biggest downfalls. So, talking about that, currently I am sitting at, I've done about 472 kilometers to this point during the week, and I am at 5.4 liters per 100 kilometers, which is fantastic, especially considering that it's been winter and that it's been colder. It hasn't really gone into the plus this week at all. Considering that fact, the hybrid system has come in so handy this week. I'm going to save money this week. We have to fill these cars up before we bring them back, so usually we have to fill the tank up fully and everything, but this time it's going to save me quite a bit of money. I was actually a little bit below half, so I went to gas up just to kind of see how big the gas tank was and, you know, how much I could fit in there. It actually only costed me $30 to fill up to full from below half. So that's really good, considering the fact that I got 600 kilometers just off $30. So coupled it with the charging, it's been really good. So like I said, it has been in the negative. Right now I'm driving in -12. It's not nice. It feels way worse than -12, but the battery actually hasn't drained that fast. I've been kind of running errands with it all day, and I'm still like, I got about 13% left, and it's still letting me drive in you know, just the battery, just electric mode, which is super nice, right? Like it really doesn't switch to gas fully until it's completely gone of its charge, which is nice. And usually the amount that I'm driving, my commute this week has been like from work to my house, so basically I can charge at one point and charge at another with the level 1 charging option. I haven't used level 2 at all this week, and I've been able to get most of my power back just by sitting in the parking lot at work and then sitting at home in my garage. So it's been perfect. So if you're somebody who maybe doesn't want to invest in having, you know, the level 2 charger at your house, although I think it's worth it if you do have an electric vehicle. But if you don't, or you don't want to do it right away, well, you don't have to, because 11 hours, especially if you're using it for your daily commute, is enough, at least for me and my schedule, to put enough power back into the battery where I'm still saving money on gas, which is great. So this car does have 3 different modes. I've been driving mainly in eco mode because I want to see how much this car can save on gas. I want to see how efficient it can be. But it also has a smart mode, so if I'm pushing the throttle a little bit harder, well, then it'll give me more power from the battery and the engine combined. And it, of course, does have a sport mode, which I can switch to. My gauge cluster will turn red to indicate that I'm in sport mode, and I get a little sport symbol. And the steering does stiffen up a little bit. The throttle is a little bit heavier. Same thing with the brakes, a little bit heavier. So I'll just dab the brakes here. I'm kind of in traffic, so I can't do too much, but yeah, and there, I'm gonna pump it here. Let's go, full power all the way to the floor, and it's gone. Okay, go, 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 go. And I'm at 100. And yeah, I mean, it's not gonna be like the Golf R last week where, you know, slam my head back into the headrest and I was absolutely off to the races. Not gonna be like that at all, but not expecting that either. There is kind of this weird pickup delay where the engine and the electric motor are kind of deciding who's going to do what, and it's like, it's a noticeable delay, but you do kind of get a little bit of a kick from the electric motor, and then the gas kicks in. It's not bad. You're not going to have a problem like overtaking traffic, and it doesn't affect you coming from a stop sign. It's only when you really ask it for power, like when I really do it, you know, it's like it takes a little while to, like, it's like, okay, you want it, you still want it, okay, there it is. So it's a little on the slower side to pick up, but again, if you're buying this SUV, that's not what you care about. You just, you know, you can do highway speeds very comfortably. Steer on the steering end in any mode, there's a whole bunch of body roll, like a whole heap of it. It's really, really swayy, but again, you're not really gonna notice that unless you're trying to drive it, unless you're trying to drive the pants off of it, which again, it's a Kia Sportage. You're not really gonna be doing that probably ever. That's not really the market it's designed for, right? So it's not bad there either. The engine does kick on while you're driving. It'll switch back and forth, but there is a button that's EV and HEV where I can put it into hybrid mode, electric mode, or automatic and let it decide itself. So hybrid mode, basically what that's going to do is it's just going to continue to use the engine and the battery in unison at the same time. It pretty much won't turn the engine off. Automatic will decide what it wants to do when, you know, it thinks it's appropriate, when you're at the right speed, right temperature, you know, when the settings are right, it will just switch you off to electric mode. And then you have fully electric mode where it will prioritize being in electric mode. So what that does is it just basically, as soon as it can turn off the engine, it will, but it does turn it back on. I get messages a lot because I've been driving in that mode almost all the time, just because I want to see how good the electric motor is. I'm very interested in that thing, and I think you guys would be too. So I want to see how good it is. And like, I don't know if you could hear the beep on the camera, but it says switching to hybrid mode to allow heating or air conditioning. So basically when it gets to a certain point and it needs to, you know, maybe up the climate, or I have my heated seat on, or a passenger puts their heated seat on, it might engage the engine at that point, and just in order to, you know, make sure that the battery doesn't deplete so quickly. And that's what I think it's doing, and just to kind of help things along. However, when the engine does kick on, it's seamless. And when it kicks off again, it's also seamless. The only reason I know it's on is because I have a rev thing in my gauge cluster here that I could see that it's at 0. So if obviously it's at 0, the engine can't be on, and then it goes to like 1.3, whatever. And like right now, see, it just switched off on me. So, you know, it does that, and the only way you know is if you're looking at it. And there also is a nice infographic on the infotainment display that'll show you where the power is coming from. It'll tell you when the engine's on and what the engine's doing, whether it's giving a charge to the battery or it's using it to drive the wheels. It's interesting. It's nice to see. It's just a lot of, you know, different things that you can see, and I like it. I haven't had a problem with it at all. And I just think it's a really great family hauler. Like we said, I love the room in the rear seats. I love that it has heated seating. It's good for a road trip. Maybe the charging infrastructure isn't there road trip wise, but it doesn't matter. If your battery runs out, it'll just run off the gas, and that's fine too. So you have that duality there. You have that peace of mind. You don't really have range anxiety, because it's like, well, whatever, if my battery pack of 55 kilometers goes to 0, that's great. And I know 55 kilometers might not seem like a lot to some people, but if you look at the Lincoln that we had maybe like at the end of last year, that only had 35 kilometers of range on a full charge. So Kia's up that like quite a bit, you know, and it's still a decent number to me, and I haven't had any issues. So I am very happy with the overall package of the Kia Sport. It's a great family hauler. It's great because it's going to put money back in your pocket. Might cost you a little bit more on the electricity side, but it'll save you twice that on gas. I think that's going to do it today for the 2023 Kia Sportage. It's been fun. I've loved it. It's been a really great SUV for me. No problems. I love the plug-in hybrid electric system. If I was in the market for one of these guys, this would be one. Unfortunately, I think it's going to be a long time before they're readily available. Maybe that's not the case anymore, but at least in my area when I look, it is. So let me know what you think of the Kia Sportage. Let me know in the comments. Leave a like if you enjoyed it or if we've helped your decision at all, because obviously that's the main goal with these things, is to help you make that important buying decision for your next vehicle. So with that being said, take care, and we'll see you in the next one.